Our Terran player is starting to the top right of the map. In the red we have on Daybreak in game number 3. A Slayer's Terran called.
Slayers MMA.
There we have him. Great performance on Whirlwind. A little bit shaky on Antigua. To the bottom left though, his opponent, starting in the blue, Zerg, called
Violet.
His color there, starting as blue, almost violet, but not quite. He's got his GSL shirt on. He's Team GSL and Team Zerg right now. And he's getting a personal sponsorship soon. Wow.
I mean, after the last map, Kerrigan will be proud of him.
Yeah, she really will. She's like, well, you just took a tough situation, went for the counterattack so smartly. Dealing with that Slayer's Terran push that's so hard for people to deal with. I'm really proud of you.
Violet had 2 choices on the last map. Choice number 1 would have been to retreat into his main base because he knew he couldn't attack the tanks, and then always try to focus on defending against the Marines. But this is really hard to pull off because what MMA tried to do here is set up the bunkers, and he would always just have pushed forward with a small force of Marines, doing a little bit of damage, retreating into the siege tank range over and over again. And this is a battle that you just can't win. So Violet circumvented the entire idea of MMA and just attacked.
And by the way, MMA hit his SCV so that the drone actually did not see the command center going to build. And as a result, he may think that there's a 2 barracks proxy. He will know now when he leaves. But that was pretty cool. That also meant that he couldn't block the command center with his drone or harass the SCV as easily. Really well done. And still going for pool before 3rd hatchery is Violet. Interesting choice. You know, when you see the command center first, a lot of players who scout this early are planning on basically saying, all right, do I go with the hatch before pool or not? And in this case, he may get a gas soon.
That's just a star that popped up like a week ago. 1-2 weeks ago, so that's the time frame we are talking about here. A lot of players are still a lot more comfortable just going for the pool. Of course, the timings are different when you start with the double hatch before you go into the spawning pool. And therefore, I completely respect this choice of Violet. He's playing it a little bit more safe. And at the same time now, he is, as pointed out, he's taking his... He did take his gas, didn't he?
No,
he didn't. I really thought for a second that he built an extractor yet.
No, not yet. But he may decide to do that. This is something that's definitely an option for him after seeing this fast command center. He's got to put some sort of pressure, or at least tech quickly, if he's going to face this type of build and just hope to eventually be ahead, because MMA has taken a risk here, and it's going to pay off really nicely for him if Violet doesn't attempt to punish.
The SCV is already in position waiting for the 100 gas that he needs to drop down the factory, and there it is already. On the other hand, Violet, he does not really know what's going on here, and without gas, he will probably start additional queens as soon as number 1 and 2 are done.
Yeah, he may even have already queued them. It looks like, yeah, he has gotten the 3rd one queued, and the 4th will probably start very soon. There it is.
This is one of the maps where a lot of Zerg players will rely on a gasless strategy. You should always try to wall off with a couple of buildings. So we will either see the evolution chambers in position, or he could also just use one of these macro hatches in order to block a little bit. Because what he's expecting right now are definitely Hellions, and this is what MMA will deliver.
Yeah, he's going to deliver them quite aggressively. Unlike last game where you skipped the Hellions entirely and went into siege tanks. And this is something that almost every Terran will do these days, regardless of the Queen patch. 5 more drones popping out for Violet, and MMA with a fast 3rd command center without starport, a very quick one. See how much pressure he wants to put on with these Hellions, how many he's going to make. That's what we're curious to see here. Trying to move that barracks down to make a tech lab here. May start the starport as soon as he has the resources as well.
The double gas has been taken in the main base of Violet, who now uses those extra queens to push his creep forward. And with, of course, the gas, he will start his tech fairly soon. He will also get speed, and now just tries to connect these bases. It's a bit of a passive game at this point, because MMA, starting with a very economy-heavy build, is now moving out with those Hellions. But they won't be able to do too much damage here. I don't really see them sneaking in. And we have Marauders already built. Marauders help, of course, defending against some kind of Baneling aggression, of Roach aggression. So that's a good choice here. It leaves him in a very safe position.
Yeah, not only that, but it gives him some aggressive timings he can use after this as well, against a player who gets very few Banelings or is playing a little bit greedy with how many drones he's made. The wall that you mentioned has already been started. Violet getting those double Evo chambers to help block. And we see that the engineering bays are coming up for MMA at a timing that will allow him to get his upgrades ahead of Violet, even though he has those. Okay, now he's starting it. I was going to say, even though he's had those for a while, he hasn't started any of them. +1 Carapace first here. We'll probably start melee weapons any second. A bunch of SCVs. Lazy on the job. Get back to work. There they go.
Unbelievable.
I can't believe it, man. We saw those SCVs. They thought they were getting away with it. They didn't know there was a security camera set up, and uh-oh. These Hellions could do some damage. He's going to at least maybe deny a tumor. Gets one.
Yeah, but that's not really something that's concerning Violet too much. With the queens that he has, he can force them back. He's already building the spying crawler. Might actually decide to not cancel it, but just leave it there.
Yeah, basically what these Hellions accomplish as well, he can't transfer his drones yet, but he can soon, and he's doing it, as you guys can see on camera there. We see more and more production facilities being added for MMA right now, getting that starport up a little bit later than usual, but he's trying to get those eBay upgrades out ASAP.
For MMA, really important here is, of course, the third mule. The mineral income is really decent. And, well, at the same time, though, what is Violet going to do here? He has the Banelings on the move, so with the Banelings he can also defend against Marines, he can defend against Hellions to a certain extent. Double upgrades for both of them, Stim nearly done. Just everything focusing more on economy. Especially Violet is just droning up and building new drones with every single inject that he hits.
Yeah, and there's the lair, as well as Spore Crawlers going down, 3 of them. Getting the macro hatch here. I saw him get these Spore Crawlers last game as well, and that didn't really prove to be too important. But I like this choice, just committing to those just to be safe. Not too much money. And MMA is going to move his third command center very early here.
This is once again one of these maps where he can really shine with his drop play, and we've seen on Whirlwind that Violet is a bit vulnerable against the style that MMA likes to use, likes to just put out there. So if he does it once again, Violet might crumble.
This is entirely possible. The Marines of MMA coming back here for an unknown reason, actually. Why is he saying he's back? Okay, he wants to go with the Medivacs. And with this, he may pick off the Overlord, deciding not to, interestingly enough. The problem he's going to face, though, is that these Lings are coming around the map to check for the third base, and they're actually going to run right into these. And, well, it depends on whether or not MMA has the Medivacs with them, or whether whose problem this is.
He needs Stim, and he uses it, tries to retreat here. The Zerglings closing distance, realizing that they're too few, and immediately backing off. As +2/+2 is now on the way for Violet. It's also the speed for his Banelings, and here they go. The bunker is just ready.
That was a close call. He did kill a few workers, though. Actually, just one. Forced away. But MMA's push in the middle of the map is still going strong since he was able to bring those Medivacs. He didn't lose all those units, and the Stim was fine. He healed. Trying to find some Overlords here. This is going to force more units out of Violet than he wants to make necessarily. His Spire is on the way, which is going to help shut down the drop. Oh! In total, actually, he killed one more SCV. That's it.
He tried to move in here, was not as successful as he hoped for, but the Spire, as you said, is on its way, so he's relying on Mutalisk, Banelings, and Zerglings once again. But here comes MMA, he's a lot more aggressive than he was on the last map. He has all these upgrades that he needs, +2/+2 is not done for either one of those players.
Yeah, and the drop in the main base is going to succeed. It's going to force a drone pull here at the very least, because MMA is attacking from 2 directions. He's going in at the third base. He's going to have to pick up here, but he's trading decently. He's forced the Banelings to the wrong location in the main base. He's lost a few drones already.
Yeah, indeed he did. The timing was perfect. MMA was attacking at the third while he was dropping. And, well, the attention of Violet was focused on the third, and here's now the main base trying to defend with the Zerglings. Once again, the Marines in a good position between the mineral patches, and a pick-off with a Medivac.
Yeah, picks off that spawning pool, and now he's going to lose an Overlord here. MMA's drop play has started again. He forced those Banelings back, targeted a lot of them down. Baneling speed wasn't done. That was a big problem for him there in that engagement at the third base. And MMA, he's ahead now by 20 supply. His drop play isn't finished, and he's also got another wave of units coming across the map. And this is going to be perfectly timed. He knows the Mutas are coming now, but the Mutas are not going to be able to fight this.
Yeah, indeed, they are not. With the Stim, those Marines have such high DPS, especially with the second attack upgrade nearly done now.
Yeah, and this is perfect timing for MMA right now.
Once again at the third, another drop. Here they come, the Mutalisk. Is Emmanuel targeting them? Yes, he indeed is, but there are not enough of them. No, not quite.
Not quite, and look at this, he's breaking through the rocks. He knows this is going to be a parade push style. He's going to rally his Marines across, 9 at a time being made right now. 2 siege tanks, everything is lining up here. 2-2, +1 for the siege tank, siege mode. He's making another command center. This attack is designed to do a damage, and a lot of it. We'll see how Violet defends. Here we go!
Violet doesn't have the Banelings just now. Now they come in, but a little bit too late. The split is too good for his opponent. 160 supply against 125, and even though Violet was able to use at least a few of these Banelings correctly and to put them to good use, kill a lot of Marines, there is still too much army left for MMA.
Yeah, he's trying to go for a counterattack right now. He forced the lift on the base in the center, forced to cancel on that bunker. There's enough units at home to defend this, though. With the bunker there, all he has to do is defend his SCVs. A drop in the main as MMA pushes at the third. So much going on here. MMA, man, his multitasking is insane today.
Violet tried to make it happen once again with a run by, but this time it is not enough. The main base is rescued by the Banelings, but this is all that she wrote as the third is down. MMA is on the move with 177 supply. He has 50 supply ahead of his opponent. +3 is lined up.
This is not a good engagement for Violet. There's too many tanks. The medevacs are low on energy, but it doesn't seem to matter with the amount of firepower he has on these Marines. Pathogen glands, yeah, they're almost done. He can start infestors, but he has no support for them. These mutas are not able to do any harassment. They're not able to go any further than the Marines will allow them.
Too much DPS by the Marines. Last stand for Violet, while MMA already takes the 4th base. The Zerg is on 2 mining bases and is in dire straits here. MMA now controlling the choke point with the siege tanks moving up the ramp. And Violet trying to circumvent those Marines, trying to once again apply pressure at the third, but it's way too late. 4 Ghost Academies. He wants to nuke the hell out of him.
He definitely does, man. GG! Violet GG's does not give him the chance for any nuclear celebration. And MMA, man, I don't care what people are saying about him on the internet, he's definitely still good.
Indeed he is. He is back in Code S. He's doing well. Takes the win with a smile. Wow, Violet a little bit disappointed, of course.
Yep. Violet will have to go home, unfortunately, realizing he's going to have to face the up and down matches. Not an easy place to play your games, definitely not.
No, definitely not. The up and downs are just so scary. It's really, really scary if you have to face all your opponents.
What's better, having an opponent known where you have a best of 3, you know the maps, or playing on a ton of different maps against so many different players in a group of 5 or 6 players? You have 5 different opponents to try to prepare for. Who knows how many matchups you're going to have? He doesn't even know yet. The groups haven't been announced. It's insane.
There are sometimes even groups with 6 players, and these are the toughest ones. So let's see what Violet is going to face in the up and downs. We will only be able to tell in a few weeks. For now, we know that MMA was able to edge out a win against his opponent, one with 2-1 and advances to Code S. Our next game is going to be Curious against Creator Prime. But of course, before we start with the next series, we are having a 5-minute break. Then we are back here at the GSL, the round 3 of Code A.
무슈제의 GSL 부산 결승 트로피의 주인공을 만나러 갑니다. 부산에서 만나요.